Hello guys, welcome to Ati Eco Bygenic YouTube channel. Today we will be discussing about invasive alien plant species in Nepal. Invasive alien species are those that occur outside of their native range and have the ability to rapidly spread in newly invaded areas and cause harm to the native species and surrounding ecosystems. After habitat destruction, exotic species are now considered the second greatest threat to biological diversity. Invasive species can threaten biological diversity by reducing genetic variation and causing the extinction of endemic species. In Nepal, 27 invasive alien species of plants have been reported. Number 1, Ageratina adenophora. Originally from Mexico, Ageratina adenophora is currently found in more than 40 nations on 6 continents. It presumably traveled through India into eastern Nepal. It establishes a dense stand that, through competition and allelopathic, chemical effects, prevents the growth of other species. It is poisonous to animals. A single plant has the capacity to produce thousands of seeds, which the wind and water may spread easily. The leaf juice is used by locals to stop minor cuts from bleeding. It can be used in biogas facilities as well as the production of compost and green manure. Management of this weed. For this weed management, manual plant removal from forests and agricultural regions is frequently done. Processidicaris utilis, a stem gall fly, was used in a biological control campaign in Nepal, but it was ineffective. Number 2, Ageratum conyzoides. Ageratum conyzoides has a wide range of morphological variations and thrives in a variety of diverse ecological environments. It is a problematic weed in pastures, agricultural fields, and other disturbed environments. Up to 40,000 seeds can be produced by a single mature plant, and these seeds are easily disseminated by wind, water, livestock, and wild animals, as well as on clothing and agricultural equipment. It has a allelopathic, chemical action that prevents crop growth and lowers productivity. Many nations have employed it in traditional medicine. It is frequently used to treat colds, burns, and wounds. But some people have reported experiencing adverse reactions to it. It is also used in composting. Management of this weed. The most popular methods of this weed control are chipping, hand removal, and mulching. Number 3, Ageratum houstonianum. Ageratum houstonianum resembles Ageratum conyzoides in appearance, but is distinguished by its cordate leaf base. It was introduced as a garden plant in several nations before escaping and turning up as a weed in fields and barren areas. A single plant can produce a lot of tiny seeds that are easily disseminated by animals, the wind, and water, as well as through contaminating agricultural products and seed supplies. Along the edges of forests and on agricultural land, it creates a dense ground cover that inhibits the growth of other plants. In Nepal, the leaf juice is used to treat small wounds and cuts. Although it is fed to cattle, it is thought to be lethal if taken in excessive quantities. Management of this weed. The most popular techniques for controlling this weed are hand removal and mulching. Number 4, Alternanthera phylloxeroides. Throughout the tropics, subtropics, and warm temperate zones, Alternanthera phylloxeroides is a rapidly expanding invasive weed. It may grow in both damp terrestrial and aquatic environments. In wetlands, it creates thick mats that block light, drastically limiting the amount of photosynthesis carried out by aquatic plants and phytoplankton. It fiercely competes with crops for nutrients in agricultural settings, reducing yield. Although it can reproduce vegetatively and by seed, in its introduced area, in Nepal, it is known to reproduce vegetatively only. Water currents spreads stem pieces, contaminating farmlands and grasslands. Management of this weed. Physical eradication can effectively manage this weed in small areas, but doing so comes with a significant labor cost. On the other hand, combined physical, chemical, and biological approaches are required for successful control in broad areas. Number 5, Amaranthus spinosus. The agricultural weed Amaranthus spinosus can also be found in disturbed areas and in the perimeters of forests. It flourishes in nutrient-rich areas. The agricultural weed Amaranthus spinosus can also be found in disturbed areas and in the perimeters of forests. It flourishes in nutrient-rich environments. It reproduces by releasing seeds that are spread by animals and through water. Up to 200,000 seeds can be produced by a single plant. It changes the habitat for animals and displaces natural flora. The spiky nature of mature plants makes them less appealing to animals. This poses issues in grazing regions as well as in crops that require manual weeding or harvesting. Young shoots can be consumed as a vegetable or used as cow feed. They are regarded as an excellent vitamin source. Through the contamination of crop seeds, it is spread to numerous nations. Management of this weed. To control this weed, both hand removal and herbicides are occasionally employed. Number 6. Argemone mexicana. Argemone mexicana is a weed that has a bad reputation for growing in agricultural fields and fallow ground, despite being introduced as an ornamental plant in many nations. Crop production is decreased as a result of its allelopathic, chemical action, which inhibits the germination and growth of plants. It may contaminate other seeds, which could spread it. Up to 4,000 tiny, mustard seed-like seeds can be produced by a single plant. Cooking oil extracted from mustard seeds contaminated with Argemone mexicana causes epidemic dropsy, a potentially fatal disease. Management of this weed. Due to its thorny nature, manual removal is challenging, but it must be removed and destroyed before it sets seed. Herbicides have worked well to prevent this plant from spreading. Number 7. Bidens pilosa. A noxious weed Bidens pilosa is capable of colonizing a variety of ecosystems, including plantations, agricultural fields, marshes, and clearings in the forest. It creates compact stands that can outcompete other plants, displacing out crops and lowering yields. Access to highways, paths, and recreational places is also impeded by thick stands. One mature plant can generate between 300 and 600 seeds, which are disseminated by wind, water, animals, and humans. It spreads quickly by seeds. The seeds are easily carried from one place to another by the clothing and fur of animals and people. Strong allelopathic effects in leaf and root extracts chemically limit crop germination and growth. It is utilized as livestock feed. Management of this weed. Herbicides, hand removal, mowing, and hoeing are used to manage this weed. Number 8. Chromolaena odorata. Among the 100 worst invasive species in the world is Chromolaena odorata. It enters into disturbed habitat and quickly disperses by vegetative reproduction or through its seeds. A mature plant has the capacity to produce up to 80,000 seeds. It is thought that the Botanic Garden in Kolkata served as the earliest gateway to Asia. It was most likely brought from West Bengal and Assam to Nepal via the eastern Terai. The minuscule Chromolaena seeds are so little that they can easily contaminate supplies of other seeds used in agriculture or forestry, spreading it even further. Management of this weed. In the early stages of infestation, individual plants can be physically removed, and some community forest user groups run annual programs to remove established stands. To create an efficient biological control for this weed, more study is required. Number 9. Erigeron karvinskianus. Erigeron karvinskianus is a short-lived herbaceous perennial that restricts native plants by creating a dense mat from its highly branched stem. It may grow in a variety of habitats, from moist soil to rock crevices, and it can survive a wide range of environmental factors. As an attractive plant and in some locations to restore habitat, this plant was imported outside of its natural area. It has a large seed production capacity that the wind may use to spread over great distances. It swiftly colonizes exposed open soil after disturbance and hinders the development of other species. The import of this species is forbidden in some countries. Management of this weed. Herbicide use and physical removal have both been recommended as control measures for this weed management. Number 10. Galinsoga quadriradiata. In subtropical and temperate climates, Galinsoga quadriradiata is a fast-growing, highly variable, annual herbaceous weed of agricultural fields and other disturbed areas. It was most likely introduced as a contaminant of crop or ornamental plants. It is known to have escaped from European botanic gardens. Up to 7,500 minute seeds can be produced by a single plant, and these seeds are quickly dispersed by wind, animals, people, contaminated crop seeds, soil, and agricultural equipment. Due of competition for nutrients and the necessity to manually remove it from fields, it lowers crop productivity and raises labor expenses. It is utilized as cattle feed. Management of this weed. Physical removal and the use of herbicides in non-agricultural environments are two examples of management.